All right, people. Welcome once again to Big Nate Streaming Circus. This is your host, Big Nate, obviously, in my mobile studios as I wait for the Spark orders to come plentiful and rejoicing my... Anyway, this sucks. This job really is tedious, but it's all I can do right now until I find something better. So I'm not going to crap on it. I'm just going to do it the best I can. In the meantime, today's editorial, Robert Redford died. Sad, but it was probably time. You know, I don't set those deadlines. Somebody of a higher power does. So today, my wife's birthday, my mom's birthday, and a really good friend's birthday, Christopher Solis, who owns Solis Gaming. I got to see him at Gen Con this year. Wife's not doing well. She's sick. And she tripped and fell over the dogs or something. And I'm just not there. And it makes me mad that I have to work on her birthday. But anyway, it is what it is, I guess. So, Robert Redford dying, that's a huge loss to the acting world. But he hasn't done anything acting-wise in some time. I know that he's been a director and producer, and he had his fingers in SAG, which Sean Austin just got voted president of SAG. So Samwise Gamgee is now the president of SAG. That's pretty cool, actually. Goonies never die. So Goonies never say die. They will eventually die. Anyway, but they could have voted somebody way worse. I don't know many better choices that they had. I mean, this guy is very much instaunched from a very early age of being an actor, and you know, good on him. I'm glad that he's still doing stuff. He was in Stranger Things season 2. And you know, spoiler alert, he didn't make it. He became a testament to everybody out there. So yeah, season 5's coming up. We got a whole bunch of things going to be hitting the streaming service pretty soon, for the holidays, especially like Superman and stuff like that. Which will be on HBO Max. Yeah, but going back to Robert Redford, I mean, the first time I saw Robert Redford in a movie was Butch Sums. Okay, he did a couple with Paul Newman. He did Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. He did The Sting, and those are two really awesome movies that my dad, you know, passed on to me as a young cinema guy. Actually got to see both of those in the movie theater with him. That was amazing. It was after the release date, obviously, but there was a theater that used to play these old matinees and stuff. So in Fresno, that's where we grew up, or I grew up. That's where he grew me up, groomed me. But anyway, thanks, Dad. Another really good movie is The Castle with James Gandolfini, and also the guy who plays Jason from General Hospital. That was one of his first major movie roles. Man, he was convincing. He did a good job. But yeah, Robert Redford, man. He's just one of those actors that comes once in a generation. I would have to say that for his time, he was like the Heath Ledger when he was younger. He was that guy that just like, wow, he's got this star power. And unfortunately, Heath Ledger died, but Paul Newman and Robert Redford, you know, they've lived a long, lustrous career. until his passing today. Robert Redford, yeah, rest in peace, homie. It may be sad, but I'd much rather cover that news than what happened last week. I mean, last week this nation really got shook up. I mean, in several different ways. School shooting from 16-year-old that shot 2 people and then killed himself in Colorado. And a lot of the naysayers and stuff, I mean, they're saying mental health, they're saying gun control, they're saying all the key words that everybody's been preaching for years, and it never gets any better. It seems to get worse and worse and worse. But kids with guns is not cool. I don't mind kids learning about weapons, but having the access to a gun, to be able to just get a gun and some ammo and do what that one kid did last week is ridiculous. You've got a kid, not a kid, but a young man, college guy killing somebody. Of course they're going to fish it out and blame it on his transgender boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to call the friend, but somebody that he cared about enough to kill somebody. And I don't know if that's all of it. I really don't. Tyler Robinson did a heinous act, and he's going to pay for it probably with his life. But that's not going to stop the radical right from blaming the radical left. And I keep preaching to everybody that'll listen that you can't have these extremes. We have to be able to meet somewhere in the middle. And I'm not going to say it's going to happen overnight, but unless we're able to entertain the idea, and now people praise Charlie Kirk for the way he conducted himself, and that's fine. Like I've said before, I don't have a problem with him having his voice heard and the way he did it, but there were some instances where he would bait people into conversations, and then when he felt that he was losing, he'd cut them off. I've seen it happen several times. He prides himself on being fair when, he gets these people up in front of the mic who are uneducated, they don't have the debate skills that he does, and he makes them look foolish, so it just solidifies his base in saying that Charlie's awesome. When he's beating up on people that really don't have any business being in front of the microphone to begin with, other than that they're pissed. That's not why you rant about something, is because you got to leave your emotions out of it. You can portray your emotions but not be emotional. You see what I'm saying? You can be angry about something and not show that you're angry while you're discussing your topic. Like, I could be angry about a lot of different things, but that's not going to change, somebody's opinion about me being angry, unless it's something that's, so enrooted in evil that I just lose it. I'm just like, why is this happening? Why do people even, get behind this kind of stuff? And people throw around the big phrases like fascist, racist. I mean, if it ends in an ist, terrorist, social terrorist, if it ends in an ist, it shouldn't even be used, honestly. You shouldn't be using it as a focal point to something. Oh, he's a terrorist. All right. And people need to stop saying they and them and just categorizing a group of people like all Republicans feel a certain way or all Democrats feel a certain way. That's not how it works. Okay? The way it works is that people are individuals. Those individuals need to be identified for who they are and what they believe. Okay? So as a micro level discussion, if Sam's, Sam the Eagle, okay, he's like, I really don't like this. And everybody's like, cool. But he says something, Sam the Eagle says something, and so now, and he's a Republican, so now everybody that wants to pile on Sam and think he's a bad person says, well, the Republicans, keep saying this stuff. Now, if there's more than one Republican that keeps saying and spouting the same bullshit over and over again, fine. And that goes for Democrats, too. If you got the same Democrats that are like, oh, they're fascists, they're this, they're that, they're, get to the root of the problem when you're discussing stuff. That's the only way you're going to get through these things. I mean, if you have a problem with somebody and that person is willing to talk to you about it in a calm and collective manner, talk to them about the issue that you have. Now, if they're not going to change, they're going to stay completely convicted to what they believe in and covenant that, you can't change their mind alone. So you might as well just move on. It's like, okay, duly noted. I know not to bring up that topic with that person because it's a volatile topic with them. I have friends that are Republicans, and I have friends that are Democrats, and I have friends that are neither. Okay? I like to pride myself that I'm able to adapt to many different, viewpoints, but still hold my own convictions to what I believe and not hate anybody for believing what they is. I mean, I've got a really good friend named Joe. Okay? I don't get to see him as much as I want, but I know for a fact that he's a staunch Republican and he believes in what Trump's doing with the immigrants. And I'm not saying I don't disagree. I think that there's a lot of immigrants that do need to be processed out, but it's the way they're being processed. Due to the lack of activity from the Biden administration and the Obama administration and cities that are setting up special things. Look, it's not cheap to become an American citizen. No one said it was. And it's not a God-given right to become an American citizen. All right? Not even if you're born here now. Okay? Just because you're born in America doesn't make you an American citizen, apparently, anymore. That being said, a child can't take care of themselves. And if they happen to be an American child because they were born here, I could see there being questions of whether or not the legitimacy of that citizenship, even though I don't like to think about it, it makes sense. If your parents are illegal immigrants and you are a legal immigrant, you basically don't have anybody to take care of you. Because if they get deported, now you become an orphan or you get kicked out of your own country. So we need to really be careful with throwing around children as political bait here, okay? I feel if a person is paying their taxes and they don't have a criminal background and they need help to become citizens, then we should help them become better citizens, become a more vibrant, and it would help the economy, it would help everybody, and it would take a lot of the fear away. But this blanket widespread ICE just grabbing everybody and throwing them out of the country, who do you think's paying for that? You are paying the bill to ship somebody off to Venezuela or Uruguay or back to Mexico or wherever they're from. You're paying that bill on top of all the taxes that the tariffs are basically piling on. They say, oh yeah, well they're going to have to pay the tariffs. No, it doesn't work that way. All they're going to do is jack up their prices to offset that extra expense of having to sell something to us. So there's only two ways to fight that. Stop buying shit, okay, and invest in your future. Because this isn't going to last. Everybody's talking about third term. That, not every. I should not say everybody. There are a certain group of people in the Republican Party that feel that asking for a third term for Trump is a good thing. To go against the 22nd Amendment. No. Absolutely not. You had your 2 terms. They were split up, but you had your 2 terms. You're done. All right? Trying to throw somebody else in there that's unqualified? No. The leadership that is in Washington now, most of them need to go. So we need new leadership. We need young, vibrant, youthful, energetic people of this generation to step up and lead the charge. I know my nephew, my wife's nephew, my nephew by marriage, he could probably be a really good Republican representative if he wanted to, from the state of Utah or Arizona or Idaho or Oregon. But I mean, he could be a political power if he wanted to. So, I mean, he plays hockey. He knows how to drive a Zamboni. So right there, boom, presidential. I love you, little Nate, man. You're awesome. Anyway, America, I need everybody to pump the brakes continuously until we come to a crawl, and then we can talk, and we can break bread with one another, and we can try to find an amicable way to resolve any kind of issues that we have between each other. There's no reason why you need to hate somebody. Okay? There's absolutely no reason to hate anybody. Okay? You may disagree, but you can agree to disagree. And you can move forward and try to do your best with what you have in front of you. And if you don't like that, you can try to change it through legal means. Now, there are a lot of people that are trying to change things illegally. They're trying to circumvent or change the actual judicial process because they have the majority. And I'm speaking to the Trump administration. You don't just represent the Republican Party. You represent all of America. Which means you need to listen to the other half and see what you can do for them as well. And a lot of your headaches would probably go away. It's just that simple. Can't be one-sided as a president. Can't be the head side of the coin and not look at the tail side of the coin every now and then. Especially because you only won by like 50%, 51% or whatever. I mean, in the last 2 elections, they were very close. Not so much with Harris. It was pretty decisive. But a lot of the stuff that you're doing, Mr. Donald J. Trump, is not presidential. It doesn't bear witness to the people that were way presidential that you basically are thumbing your nose at. You're not a Lincoln. You're not a George Washington. You're not a Jefferson. You're not even an Eisenhower. You want to be a king, it seems like, because everything that you're doing, I mean, it just points to you wanting to be the one and only. It's your loyalty or nothing. It doesn't work that way. You are a servant to the people. We don't serve you. You're supposed to be serving us for our betterment. And I don't know who's advising you. I don't know who's, sucking you off at night. But I know it's not Melania. So, Mr. Trump, just finish your last 3 years and get out of the way so we can actually make progress and really heal the nation. All right? And Democrats, quit standing on your soapboxes and pointing fingers. You had your chance in the Biden administration, and guess what? You blew that, all right? You put us in such a deficit, and then Trump just adds more to it. You know, oh, the job market was so good. But you know what? Nobody ever looks at the fact that the first term of Trump, he actually was doing a pretty good job for the beginning, and that was on the skirts of Obama. So, I mean, you can't have one without the other. You can't have a Republican without a Democrat. You can't have a Democrat without a Republican. Can't all just be one way. It has to be a melting pot of everything good, and you basically filter out all the bad stuff. Don't keep piling on stuff that's so controversial that it, you know, mucks and mires the process to a point to where it just nobody gives a shit anymore because they don't know how to fix it. Anyway, Big Nate out. Go Streaming Circus. And thank you, clowns. Like, share, subscribe. Do all that great stuff. And hopefully this will get you guys thinking. All right. Peace out.